motion. Last week, we covered horizontal motion. Okay, the four formulas that you need to remember. What are the four? V equals to U plus AT, V square, U square plus 2AS, and then S equals to U plus V over 2T, and S equals to UT plus half AT squared. These are the four formulas of motion. Okay, it applies for horizontal motion, solving the instantaneous velocity. So you want to find the initial velocity or the final velocity, or you want to find the time or displacement, you can use the equation of motion. Now, today we use the same equation of motion, but we apply for vertical motion. Vertical meaning that up, down. Okay. Now, the difference between horizontal and vertical is that vertical is gravity affected. Okay. When I say gravity affected, how is it affected? So let's say you drop something from a height. Okay. You drop something from a certain height. Before I drop it, when I'm still holding it, what is the speed? 0, right? So initial speed is 0. U equals to 0 meter per second before I drop it. Now, when I drop it, the speed goes on increasing. Because falling object, the speed always increases. The longer it falls, the higher the speed will it get to. Okay? So how fast is the speed increasing? How fast is the speed increasing? We are talking about the change in the speed, right? What is change in speed? Acceleration. Okay, so that means for any falling object, how fast is it accelerating downward? The value of the acceleration is 10 meter per second squared. This is due to the attraction of the gravity. In every single falling object, they fall with an acceleration of 10 meter per second squared. That means after 1 second you drop it, the velocity is going to become 10. Okay, so let me write here the V equals to 10 meter per second. Acceleration 10 means every second the velocity increases by 10, plus 10, plus 10, plus 10. So the next second, the object will be moving at 20. And then the next second, the object will be moving at 30. Go on increasing and increasing. As long as it is still falling, then the speed will still increase forever. If you can fall forever, then it will increase forever. Okay, so what is this acceleration here? This acceleration, we call it acceleration due to gravity. Acceleration due to gravity. Okay, because for all falling objects, there's only one force that is pulling it down, gravitational force. We are going to ignore the air resistance. Okay, we will ignore air resistance. We only assume that the force pulling it down is gravity. So if only gravity is pulling it down, then this acceleration is caused by gravity. So we call it gravity acceleration due to gravity. Okay, 10. Now to be exact, 真正这个 value 是 9.8. Okay, 9.81 meter per second square. 可是 for calculation, for simplicity, we just use 10. Okay, we just use 10 unless the question want you to use this one. If the question did not state, then you can stick with 10, no problem. I'm talking about in SPM. Okay, so 10 meter per second square. All right, now acceleration 是 vector, 它有 direction 的，所以这个 acceleration 是 pointing towards 哪里？ It's always towards the center of the earth. This is the earth. If the object is over here, falling towards the earth, where is the acceleration pointing? Acceleration is pointing to the center like this, not downward like this. So you cannot say it's pointing downward. Because if the object is down here, then it will be pointing up like this. Okay, so always pointing to the center of the earth. So if your object is here, then the acceleration is pointing here. Okay, now this is the acceleration due to gravity. Okay, so in vertical motion, object is affected by acceleration of the gravity. In horizontal motion, is there any acceleration due to gravity? No, because if you are moving horizontally like this, the acceleration is like this. It is perpendicular. Perpendicular, they do not have effect on each other. Okay, they do not have effect on each other. In other words, they are irrelevant. Perpendicular forces, perpendicular vectors, perpendicular velocities, they are irrelevant. Perpendicular means 90 degrees to each other. So if you are moving horizontally, the acceleration due to gravity doesn't affect it. That is why vertical motion, only it will affect. Okay, let's recall a bit. The V can be what? Positive, can be negative. In vertical motion, 如果你向上走 generally 我们讲 positive 对吗？然后你向下走 generally 我们是讲 negative。然后 displacement 你的 starting position 如果你 currently 是在上面，这个就是 positive displacement， 你 currently 是在下面，你就是 negative displacement。它是 depend on 你的 reference point 在哪里。starting point 是 always 你的 reference point。这几个是要注意，当我们 solve 这个 vertical motion 的时候。Okay, now let's get into it. Suppose that I drop an object. Initial velocity u equals to 0. The object falls through a distance s in a time t. When the object is falling, there's an acceleration pulling it. How much is the acceleration? 10 meters per second square. After it has fallen this distance, the object is now here. And it is moving with a certain velocity that we call it the final velocity v. Again, we have USTAV. We are going to apply the same equation of motion, this one, into the vertical motion. Now, for the acceleration here, all this acceleration we are going to take 10 meters per second square. So all this, okay? 在你的 textbook, 它会把这个 A 换去 G， 它写 V 等于 U 加 GT。Okay, 其实一样的东西，不用理它，你用 A 罢了。Okay, so it's the same thing. It's the gravitational acceleration. Alright, let's say 如果我要找final velocity, okay, 我要找这个 object， 它 fall, let's say 它 fall 2000 meter. Okay, 它 fall okay, let's do easy one, 1000. It fall 1000 meter. And I want to find out what is the final velocity that it achieved after fallen 1000 meter. Okay, then I write down stuff that I know. U equals to 0. This is when I started from rest. Acceleration equals to 10. And then the distance is equals to 1000 meter. Again, you got 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, 在 vertical motion 里面很重要的一个东西就是你的 sign, positive sign 或者 negative sign. 你要先 determine 你的 positive 是在哪里。Again, 你要先 determine 你的 positive 在哪里。怎样找你的 positive direction？ 我们用最容易的方法，我们用你的 initial direction 是 positive 的 direction。什么是 initial direction？ 就很像我把它抓着在这边的时候，然后我一放手，它是向哪里走？我一放手，它就向下了嘛，对不对？所以我的 initial direction 是向下。OK， 跟你丢上去不一样。如果你丢上去，你的 initial direction 是向上 ，OK， 所以我 drop 它，我的 initial direction 是向下，所以我拿下 downward as my positive direction. Okay, let me write it here. I have to declare first. Downward is positive and upward is minus. OK， 如果下是 positive， 上就是 minus 咯，相反。所以你看啊，我现在有我的这个 sign 了，我的 u 是0 ，OK， 0不需要加减，也是一样的东西。可是我的 a 是10，我的 a 是向哪里的？我的 vector， 我的 a 是向下。这个是你 label 你的 acceleration vector pointing to the center of the earth， so it's pointing downward。然后这个 downward direction based on 你 set 的这个 sign， 它是加还是减？它是加，因为你 set 向下是加。OK， 所以这边我会写 a 等于加10。OK， 加10等于10啦，不需要放一个减啦，就是这样讲。然后 displacement 呢 ？displacement 是1000。同样的，我的 starting point 在哪里？我丢它的时候，我 drop 它的时候，这边是 starting point， 然后它现在是在下面这边。After 1000 meter， 它在下面，所以下面是什么 sign？ 我 set 的下面是 positive sign， 所以 displacement 也是 positive。OK 啊 ？Now let me write it here. Take initial direction of movement as positive. Okay, now once I already declare this one, then I can solve. Now I want to find the v. So which one do I use? V squared equals to u squared plus 2as. Okay, v squared equals to 0 plus 2. This one, 8, is it a positive or negative? It's a positive value, so 10. S is 1,000 here. Okay, 20,000 meter. This one, okay, we have a square here. Then we square root equals to 141.42 meter per second. 来，是谁有听到 vacuum cleaner 的声音？跟我讲一下，在那个 chat。如果你听到 vacuum cleaner 很吵的 background 声音，给我知道一下，我要关门，因为外面有人在 vacuum。No 啊 ，OK。If got, let me know. If the background noise is very noisy, you let me know. Because I'm not sure whether you can hear the background or not. Somebody is vacuuming. Okay. Okay, nobody's saying, so means you cannot hear lah. All right, so let's continue. So what the final velocity is 141.42. Now, 如果你讲 OK， 我要拿上面 as positive， 我要跟着 convention。Let's say 你拿上面 positive 啦，下面是 negative， 这个是你自己 set 的。OK， 如果 based on 这一个 sign convention， 我的 acceleration 是什么 ？U 等于0 ，acceleration 等于 acceleration 向下嘛，对不对？可是你 set 的下是 negative。所以这个你的 acceleration 是减10，然后你的 displacement s 1000向下，那个也是减 based on 你的这个 sign convention， 所以这边是减1000，所以你拿到的 value 呢，这个是你的 value， 有减10减1000。你 solve 的时候 v square 一样的 u square 加 2as equals to u 等于0加2减10，你要放进去，然后 s 也是减1000 v square。OK， 然后你就发现到你乘这个 OK 减 cancel 掉，然后你就可以继续，你就 solve， 你找到同样的 value 141.42v。为什么有很多人 confuse equation of motion 就是因为在那个 sign 罢了。Because of this sign, sometimes students they are not sure whether the acceleration is should I use a positive or should I use a negative. When they use a positive, sometimes they see the textbook use a negative. Okay, so I want to make it very clear. The sign convention is you set it yourself. How do you set it? The easiest way, we use what? We take the initial direction of movement as positive. Okay, take the initial direction of movement as positive. So we will stick to the first one, this one, downward as positive. It's not wrong, both are correct. Just that when you come to solving other question later, you'll find that this one is easier, the first one. So that we don't have to deal with so many negative values. Okay, now, after we found the final velocity, let's say we want to find the time taken. Okay, let me clear this a bit. So far, what do we have? We have U0, A 是10, S 1000, and then V I added in my list 141.42, and I can find the time taken. What is the time taken after this falling 1000 meter? Okay, then we can find here which one do we want to use. Any one that you can use. Okay, UAST. I will use the last one. S equals to UT plus half AT squared. Okay, so initial U, so 这个是等于0, S 等于 half AT squared, 10 T squared. So S equals to 5T squared. S 是多少 ？S 是1000。Okay, so 1000 divided by 5, and you square root it. 14.14. T equals to 14.14 seconds. That's how you solve the vertical motion. Okay, 1 minute, and I will go to the next line. Okay, now, second example. Let me write it down first. Okay, let's say this time I throw a object. Okay, I throw an object vertically. When I throw it, depending on how much velocity that I'm giving it, how hard I throw it. Okay, how hard I throw it. So let's say I throw it with a velocity of 100 meter per second. Okay, so this is my initial velocity. Okay, so u equals to 100. And then I want to find how much time for the object to reach the top. Okay, anybody hearing the vacuum sound? If you hear the vacuum sound, type a 1 in the chat. Okay, no, good. Now, I throw it with an initial velocity of 100, and then I want to find what is the time when it reached the maximum height. Okay, here. Time taken before falling back. How do I find it? How do I find the time taken before falling back down? Okay, then I will consider the motion. Throw from the point where I throw it to the point where before it turned backwards. You see, the ball come to the top. To fall back down, right? It has to first stop momentarily. What happened to the ball as it rises? 100 meters per second, it will decrease 90, 80, 70, 40, 30, 20, 10 becomes 0。意思说，在某个点，在某个高度，它的 velocity 会是 0，然后 0过后呢，它就会 reverse。It will reverse and then start falling back down with increasing speed. OK， 所以我们只是看从我丢跟它到上面，它的 velocity 是0的时候。OK， so that means here my initial velocity u is going to be 100. My final velocity, what is my final velocity? Because I take from here and at the maximum point, the final velocity is 0 meter per second. This is at the, we call the turning point. Turning point, 它的 velocity 是0。Okay, so this one here and this one. 然后我的 acceleration 有给吗？没有给，可是你要知道 acceleration 是OK， 我们拿 gravitational acceleration 10 meter per second square. Again, we already got 3, 1, 2, 3. 我就可以找 time taken t. Sign 哪里是 positive？ OK， 来，你看，我丢 initial direction 是向上，所以上是 positive， 下是减，我会跟着这一个 sign。Initial velocity u 100向哪里？向上，所以它是加100咯。v OK 0加减没有关系，也是一样的东西。我们去到 acceleration 是指向哪里？指向 center of the earth downward。OK， 所以这个 direction 跟着我们的 sign convention 是减，所以这个我们要放一个减。acceleration 是减10。OK 啊，所以我们有了这3个，然后我们就可以找 t。OK，v 等于 u 加 at。v 等于0 equals to 100加 acceleration 减10，然后 t。OK，so 把那个100过去，我们减100 equals to 减10 t t 等于减100除减10 cut 10 seconds. So it takes 10 seconds for the ball to reach maximum height. Okay. So acceleration 是10吗？你这样子想也可以吗？ Acceleration 是10 meter per second square， 所以你给它100向上，意思说每一秒它减10，每一秒它减10，减10减10，10秒过后它变0，所以这个是10秒。10 seconds here. Right, now B. Find the height reached. What is the height reached? Okay, then we find S. We need to find S, right? We already have the T. So T is how much? T is 10 seconds. S equals to UT plus half AT squared. Equals to 100 10 plus half acceleration 减10 OK 减10然后是 square 1000 OK 所以是100乘减10除2减500 500 meter. Okay, so the height is 500 meter. Okay. Now you do it. You try it yourself. Let me put a question. Okay, I'll give you one question. You copy down and then you try it yourself. Okay, example 3 and then example 4. two examples. Okay, you try first, then we go through later. I'll give you a 5 minutes. Okay. Okay, you got the answer. Anybody got answer? You can type it in the chat. Vanessa, what is your answer for 3ABC? Finish or you're still doing? Still doing. Daryl? Daryl finish? 3ABC. Oh yeah. Okay, a few more minutes. Nicole， 你的 line OK 吗？你的 line 是不是不 stable 啊？还 OK 啊？Because I see you logging in and logging out, so yeah. Only number 3 first, guys. Number 4 later. We do number 3 first. How about Noel? Noel, you got answers? Number 3. One second, 60 meter. $60 m. Okay. All right, now we look at the answers. Time taken to reach maximum height. Okay, U 等于10, A 等于10 meter per second square, right? And maximum height V equals to 0. So already got 3, 1, 2, 3. Then we can solve it. Okay, 因为我们拿到 maximum height 它是 momentarily at rest, so the velocity is 0. Okay, that's why we have V equals 0 here. Now this is not told in the question, right? So this one you have to put it in yourself. It is not given by the question. So when the question asks time taken to reach max height, then you can already assume that V is 0 at the maximum height. Okay, so V 等于 U 加 AT。 Positive 在哪里？ Positive 是向上，向下是 negative. Okay, so V 0 equals to 10 plus acceleration 是减10，因为 acceleration 是 acting downward. Okay, so downward is negative. 减10 and then time here. So negative 10 equals to negative 10t. Negative 10 over negative 10. 1 second. Okay, now B, maximum height. Okay, maximum height 我们可以算 S equals to UT plus half AT square. 10, 1 plus half acceleration minus 10 and 1 square. 10减5 meter. Okay, how about C? Time taken for the object to return to the ground. Now, 你看啦，我从这边丢上去，然后回来，我的 displacement 是多少？我从这边丢，这边是 starting, travel upward, downward, same position, come back. So the displacement is 0. Okay, so displacement 0, then we write here C, we know displacement is 0. we want to find the time and the initial velocity. How much? U is equals 10. What else do we know? Acceleration. Again, it is minus 10. OK， 你看我现在的 motion 是 two-way motion， 就是我丢上去，然后它掉回下来。这个是一条线，就是说它没有 horizontal 的 displacement。It's only vertical displacement。我丢它，然后它下来回去原本的位置。OK， 所以你可以把它想象成只是一条线 vertical line。There is no horizontal distance travel. So in this motion, if you look at the displacement, I start here and then it come back to the same position. So S is 0. S is 0, then what else do we know? Acceleration is 10 downward meter per second square. And then also we got the unit initial velocity 10 meter per second. 我的方向在哪里？我的方向 positive 在哪里？我 initial 的 direction 是什么？丢上去，所以是向上。过后它下来，对吗？过后它下来，我们不用理那个，我们只是看我的 initial 的 movement 在哪里。所以我就直接用上面是 positive， 下面是 negative。Okay, so that's why how I get this. That's how I get all this. S0, T, U is 10, and A is minus 10. Okay, then we solve this one. Okay, S equals to UT plus half AT squared. Ling 等于10T plus half 减5 T squared. Okay, so Ling equals to 10T. This one is minus 5. Oops. Minus 5 divided by 2, so it's minus 2.5. T squared. Testing sound, can you hear? Testing sound, can you hear? Testing sound, can you hear? 你刚刚我给 disconnect 了吗？现在还可以听到吗？ Okay, if you can hear me, put a 1 in the chat. If you can hear me, okay, can I? Okay, can hear. All right. Just now I was disconnected. Okay. Why is the acceleration made minus 5? Oh, okay. This one is 10, right? Supposed to be minus 10. This is minus 5. Okay, so 0 equals to 2t minus t squared. Simplify, and then we factorize. 0 equals to t, 2 minus t. t 等于0 or t 等于2 seconds. 为什么你会有两个 answer？ t 等于0，你看啊，你算的是 displacement 等于0，对吗？ displacement s 我们 let s equals to 0， so s 等于0有两个 instance when s equals to 0. One is at the starting point, s is 0. Another one is after 2 seconds, that means after it fall back down, that is also s is 0. That's why you get two answers. 因为有两个情况是当你的 displacement 是等于0，一个是在 starting， 一个是在它跌回下来。所以哪一个是你的答案？答案是2 second。2 second is your answer. Okay, t equals to 2 seconds. Okay, how about example 4? $20. Okay, other answers? Any other answers? The rest? Example 4, the answer is 5.58. Okay, let's see. Let's see example 4. Let me erase this first. I wish they have a bigger eraser. Okay. 4. Object is thrown from a cliff with an initial velocity of 10. How long does it take for the object to fall back down to the sea? 这个怎样看？看它的 displacement。你看啊，我从这边开始丢 ，starting，ending 在哪里？到 C 嘛，对不对？所以 ending 这边，我的 displacement 这个整个 journey 我的 displacement 是多少？如果我要到这个 ending，the cliff height is 100 meter, so it is 100 meter below, right? That is my displacement. When the ball hit the sea, it is 100 meter below the starting point. Okay, your direction. Where is positive? 你一来是向上丢，所以上是 positive， 下是 negative， right？ 将这个 displacement 100 below 你的 starting point， 这个是减。S equals to minus 100 meter. That is the first information. Okay, because I'm looking at when the ball is here and when it has fallen until here. This is what I'm looking at. Anything happen after that, I don't care. Only these two. So my displacement is minus 100. All right. What is acceleration? Acceleration is minus 10 meter per second because that one is negative. Okay. What else do we know? We know the initial velocity u equals to 10 meter per second. How long does it take? So we want to find the t. Okay, check your values. If you get this, then you should be able to get the correct answer. Okay, then we solve it. S equals to ut plus half at squared. S minus 100 equals to 10t plus half minus 10 t squared. Minus That's 100 equals to 10t minus 5t squared. Okay, so it's a quadratic equation, right? Minus 5t squared plus 10t plus 100 equals to 0. And then I can simplify the negative. I times the negative, so this one become positive, this one become negative, this one become negative. And also I can simplify this 515, 5210, 520, 100. So I get what? T squared minus 2t minus 20 equals to 0. Then did you solve the solve these quadratic equations? We get two answers. T equals to 1 minus 2 and minus 20. 5.58. Or 还有一个答案是什么？还有一个答案是你 solve 你拿到减3.58。时间可以是减的吗？不能够啊，时间不能够是减，所以这个答案是 invalid。OK， 这个答案 invalid， 所以你拿的答案就是 5.58。OK， 可以吗？如果还是有问题，哪里不懂 ，you have to let me know in the chat. Okay, let me know if you want me to repeat any part. Okay, so do not keep quiet. If you really don't understand, you have to let me know. Please don't keep quiet. Otherwise, I cannot help you. Okay, you take down this one, and I will give you some exercises. Okay? So you have to really try it yourself. Okay, you have to really try yourself. You have to really practice, because the more you do, the better you will become. You will start to see there's a pattern when doing the equation of motions. Okay, when you do more, then you see the pattern is like a repeated pattern. Always they ask for what? The maximum height. They ask for the time. They ask for this one. Okay, but you have to try yourself first. Only then you will pick it up. Right, I will send you the worksheet in the group. I want you to do it in class right now, and after that we will look at the question.